Hi, my name is Paul Rosenthal, and I represent District 49B, which is West Bloomington, Eden Prairie, Edina, and Minnetonka. I am married. I have a wonderful wife, Liz. I have two young sons, Jack and Eddie. Jack, who turned 14 yesterday, and Eddie, who is 12. I've done work in the community, whether it be volunteer coaching or working in the schools, helping with reading and math. It's always a pleasure to give a hand when it's needed. The League has asked us to speak on some issues. One is immigration. I think that immigration really is a federal issue. But if you look at the demographics that Tom Gillespie, our state demographer, gives, in the coming years we're going to have a tremendous shortage of workers, and that tens of thousands of workers as baby boomers retire. So that needs to be addressed. Healthcare is an interesting issue. MNsure had a very, very bumpy rollout. We had two choices. We could have taken the federal form and gone with that with no input from us, but we chose to make our own exchange. And yes, it had a rough start, but it's starting to get better and we need to work on it. The end result is 40% more people are insured today than they were before, and that's a great thing. I think as we continue to work on it and make it better, rates will come down for all of us, and that is the point, to get everybody covered. Employment, we happen to live in a state where businesses want to do business. We have the lowest unemployment rate of any metropolitan area, large metropolitan area, at about 4%. We're the second best place for new college graduates to find jobs. And Minnesota is ranked the third best place to make a living. Things that I like to work on, I'm a middle-of-the-road kind of guy. I like to get consensus. So I'm the co-chair of the Small Business Caucus, which is a bipartisan group, which is about 30 members on both sides of the aisle. And we try to make businesses, come up with bills that will help businesses thrive and grow, whether that be reducing the number of regulations or shortening the permitting time or carrying, as I did, the angel investment tax credit. There's lots of things we can do as we grow that committee to be a solid force in the legislature. I'm very proud of my record. The vast majority of my bills have Republican co-authors. And that really allows us to get working together. And to me, the working together is the most important thing. What I don't, and what we don't as a state want to do is see what's going on the federal level. And that is really broken, whether it be government shutdown, just no cooperation whatsoever. And I think Minnesota is very lucky in that we have a state where people listen to each other. And I'm very thankful to the residents of this district for contacting me with things that they like and things that they don't like. I take it all in, and it helps me to be a better legislator. So in the fall, as I come around and talk to you at your door, I hope that you will ask me questions. Hard ones, easy ones, it doesn't matter to me. I'm ready to answer them all. Again, it's been a pleasure being your representative, and I asked for your vote one more time this November. And if you have any questions at all, you can go to voterosenthal.com, or you can call me directly on my cell phone, which is on every piece of literature that I've ever put out, and that is 651-271-8131. And I encourage people to contact me, and it's been a real privilege to serve in the House, and I don't take that lightly, and I take the concerns of my constituents very seriously. So again, thank you for the time, thank you for the League for doing this, and thank you to the residents of District 49B.
I'm Barb Sutter, and I'm running for the Minnesota House of Representatives, seat 49B. I grew up in a military family, and my husband Randy was a career Air Force officer and U.S. NATO liaison. 12 and a half years ago, we chose to make our home here in Bloomington. I graduated with an MBA, and my professional background is in accounting and as a tax preparer for individuals, families, and small businesses. While overseas, I volunteered to help our military service members and teachers prepare and file their tax returns, and I helped create manageable and realistic budgets for those having financial difficulties. I worked in this capacity here in Bloomington for years. I've been active politically as the treasurer and Senate District Chair of my party and have served as an election judge here in Bloomington. I've volunteered at the Minnesota Veterans Hospital and have been part of the Reading is Fundamental program in our elementary schools. I will promote an education system with access to high-quality choices that will prepare our students for post-secondary education and jobs. This is critical given the state's achievement gap, particularly in our immigrant communities. While immigration is a federal issue, our state picks up the majority of the tab for educating our immigrants. I've had the good fortune to form friendships within the Somali community who are taking advantage of all our education system has to offer. They're proud citizens, and they've impressed me with their desire to be referred to not as Somali Americans, but as Americans. I believe in empowering parents, teachers, and school districts to implement the policies to meet the needs of their students. This means observing and respecting local control. I will advocate for health care reforms that assure choice, quality, and affordability. Before Obamacare in Minnesota, 97% of Minnesota was insured or had access for insurance. Right now, the whole system is on unstable ground because of the imbalance between public and private plans sold through the exchange. We need to protect the vulnerable who have lost their coverage and make sure they can count on the services that they sign up for, like Medicaid. Many Minnesotans are seeing massive increases in their rates with fewer choices. Some women in Minnesota face the largest rate hikes in the nation. Obamacare will cost our schools over $200 million over the next 3 years. And I'm greatly concerned about the inadequate protections for our privacy. I believe healthcare should be about the relationship between a patient and their doctor. The course of your care should not be determined by the government. Minnesota's had a legacy of innovation and entrepreneurship in its businesses and workforce. Today, that success is threatened by new policies, regulations, and taxes that have become a drag on our state's business climate. These are real threats for keeping our businesses here, the prospects of continued job growth, and creating unemployment. Raising the minimum wage benefits those that have low-paying jobs. It doesn't benefit those who can't find work, and it doesn't promote opportunities for entry-level workers' advancement. Unemployment rates for minorities, veterans, and young people are at double-digit levels. 38,000 Minnesotans have been out of work for more than 6 months. Over 50% of our workforce is underemployed. Our supposed job recovery has left many Minnesotans behind. I intend to work hard to bring a balanced approach to St. Paul, and that means ending one-party rule. We need an efficient and effective state government that represents all Minnesotans. I'm hearing that there doesn't seem to be room for an honest debate anymore, and that legislators just aren't listening. Those of us running for office owe it to people to listen and to lead accordingly. I believe in service to community and country, and I believe in empowering people rather than institutions. My focus will always be on providing the best education for our students, whether it's academic and, yes, vocational. I want to help establish a tax climate that enables people to have homes, raise their families, find jobs, run businesses, and then retire right here in Minnesota. That's resonating with the voters that I share conversations with. I intend to bring my knowledge, my experience, my common sense, and compassion for people to the Minnesota State Legislature. I'm working hard to earn your support and your vote on November 4th.